what we're talking about, it's to give you an idea of what we did in terms of cross-fertilization between two industries, mainly aviation and maritime. We have held a project that is called the SAFEMODE. The project was closed 1 year ago, and it's a project that gave successful hints and a framework, established a framework that can be used in order to address the human factors aspects also in maritime. Next works, yes. Who we are, DeepBlue is a company that operates in research and development and in consultancy and training services, but mainly is a company of experts in human factors and safety. We worked since 20 years in the aviation industry, addressing the human factors aspects and the requirements that can come from human factors to systems and to the interaction between automation and humans. We work mainly in the transport sector, and we are addressing now the new challenges, as Apo said, of using human factors in the context of a changing environment, which is with respect to automation, but as well as with respect to people, to new people that are entering the environment and have different approaches to the usage of systems. As I said, I don't want to spend too much time on this. I want to leave you more information on the project, but we are more than 75 people, and we work with critical environment most of the time. Aviation is a critical environment, maritime as well. We work with space, with the astronauts for training the astronauts, and as Apo said before, we are facing an industry that requires superhero skills. The astronauts were a good training center for us in that area. We work on human-centered design, user-centered design, and we address human performance. We develop training, but we are doing that in order to increase the safety for the environment. Aviation, as I said, was the first, but we are seeing very much commonalities in this business as well as differences. I will talk more about the human factor fatigue and risk management addressing maritime that came from SAFEMODE. SAFEMODE had the goal to strengthen the synergies between the two environments, aviation and maritime, addressing specifically human factors. And the question was how to capture the human elements into the analysis of risks, into the enhancement of safety for maritime and for aviation. The project is a European-funded project, so it's all the results are free, and everything you can find on the project pages, I will address it later, is free for usage for everyone, so we're not selling anything. We are selling what we learned during the project, and we hope that it can give you an opportunity to use some methodologies. The project has developed a framework that is called HURID, that is Human Risk Informed Design, and it's a framework that guides you through the assessment of risks and through the assessment of a new change entering the industry through a process. So it's using techniques, tools, and methodologies, and is guiding the person entering the website and using the tools in different steps of assessment. We wanted to encourage the adoption of human factor, the look at human factors side in design first, but also in operations, to address what the design approach can become if you use requirements coming also from the environment and from the users in particular, and learn from previous safety incidents and accidents, characterizing them. So the main issue is that when something happens, is if it's not reported properly and if it's not archived in a way that you can use it, that you can make it a lessons learned for others, and applicable to other industries or to other companies. It's almost as if the accident didn't happen, because you're not learning from it. You're not using that knowledge to avoid a future occurrence. And what we want to do is promote this human factor compass, that is a framework that you can use for free, and it's giving you what we learn as information from the industry. So we did an analysis on cross-fertilization between the two environments at micro level, at meso level, at macro level. The differences between the two environments are really clear in terms of regulation. There's a lot that is regulated in the aviation industry since 10 years. There's a lot of money involved. There's less operators. As Apo said, the maritime industry is very fragmented. There's no big push from a few players, as in aviation, to change things. At meso level, we looked at the interaction with the environment, the ship, and how the vehicle and the systems are affecting the operation of the team. And at micro level, we focused on the operator human aspects, the cultural aspects. There's a very fragmented culture on the same ship in maritime that has to be addressed, the difference in looking at things and in training that all the operators on the same ship can have. The SAFEMODE project produced a starter pack that is usable for free. It's a pack where you can find capabilities for reviewing your assets, for reviewing your status with respect to human factors, of course. There's some training material. There's training for awareness on human factors. Also, human factors, it's a term that not everybody declines in the same way. It's, for some people means security, for some people means the security of the operators, for some people means the impact on how they are handling stuff. But in principle, human factor is how we deal with the systems and how we can improve to avoid a blaming culture, to avoid that the operator is only the one that is at the center of an accident, who did something wrong. Human factor helps in injecting some requirements to address what happened from different perspectives. The operator did something wrong. Why? Because there were procedures that were wrong, because there was an environment that was favoring the error, because there were no tools available, because there were no steps provided to be followed, no training, no conditions around him to make a mistake. So it's also important to address the safety culture of the companies, and the safety culture can be addressed through different tools and from different point of views. But the starter pack of SAFEMODE provides an app that you can use for free at industry level to understand what is the level of safety culture currently and what you can do to improve it. And the structural differences are there, as we said. There are social dynamics that can affect standardization differently, that can normally bring the issues to a level of activities that needs to be understood, needs to be analyzed, and needs to be made aware in order to provide a change to the regulation, to provide an input to the regulators. The environment is very competitive, and it's in aviation, as I said, you have only a few monopolizing the design and operational context, while in maritime you have to deal with more entities and with different cultures. So the environment is way more fragmented and needs to be addressed in a different way. The position of labor in aviation, the position of the operator has been addressed since 10 years, and the condition of work are much easier, much lighter. So because they are supported, it's easier to support less people. You have ships with hundreds or thousands of people working around them, so it's more difficult, and the conditions of work are not regulated by the same nationalities with the same level of regulation. So that's also need attention. And these projects like SAFEMODE want to bring out these differences, want to make, to give something usable for the industry, something that you can try and that you can see if it's giving you an advantage, you can use it and you can promote it at regulator level, at training level, at internal company level. The fatigue is a big issue coming out of this study as a component, as a big component of the risk, and that's what we also derived from aviation. In aviation, fatigue is addressed for air traffic controllers especially, and it's controlled, and there's a European regulation that addresses fatigue and forces, because the regulation in the end is forcing a bit the companies to do something, is forcing the company to monitor the fatigue level in their operators' workforce. So it's forcing to do periodic checks of the fatigue level, and it's monitoring the changes. Through these checks, you address different areas of changes, and then you monitor again the fatigue level if you implemented some mitigation actions. What we think is that is a good way also in maritime to endorse some fatigue assessment and fatigue monitoring process that can be supported by tools. For example, in aviation, we use something that is called a fatigue assessment tool. It's called Insight, but it's again, it's an app that is usable, and it's addressing mental workload. It's working through recording the daily activities. It's providing an objective measure, and it's providing a dashboard of mitigation opportunities that you have to improve the fatigue and the stress in your workforce. So we hope that with this with the adoption of more tools that are free there, the industry can benefit from it and can bring out some results to the operators, and can bring out results guiding the new regulations that need to be in place due to the changes that are in the industries. And I finished. I'll leave you my contacts. You will get them through Apple. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.